Understanding the U.S. debt situation. Welcome to today's video, where we'll dive into the U.S. debt situation as the U.S. draws closer to the debt ceiling, the implications of not raising the debt ceiling, the implications of raising it, and the potential default of the debt. Let's get started. The United States has consistently been running on a budget deficit, meaning the government spends more money than it collects in revenue. This difference is made up by borrowing, resulting in a continually growing national debt. The federal debt is the sum of all this borrowing, and as of our knowledge cutoff in May 2023, it stands at over $31.48 trillion. Now, let's discuss the concept of the debt ceiling and its implications on the U.S. economy. The debt ceiling is a legal limit set by Congress on the amount of money the federal government can borrow. This mechanism was introduced in 1917 to provide the Treasury more flexibility in borrowing funds without seeking congressional approval for each individual debt issuance. When the debt approaches the ceiling, Congress usually votes to raise it, often amidst political bargaining. Failing to raise the debt ceiling doesn't cut spending but prevents the Treasury from borrowing more to pay for expenses it has already committed to. The U.S. government borrows money by issuing Treasury bonds, bills, and notes, which are essentially IOUs with varying maturity periods. These debt instruments are sold to investors, including individuals, corporations, and foreign governments, who receive interest payments in return. The U.S. owes money to a wide range of domestic and foreign entities. The largest portion of the debt, about two-thirds, is held by domestic investors, including individuals, banks, corporations, and state and local governments. The remaining one-third is held by foreign entities, with countries like Japan and China being the largest foreign creditors. What if Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling? If Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling, the Treasury would be unable to borrow additional funds to meet its financial obligations. In this case, the Treasury would have to rely on incoming revenues to cover expenses, which might not be sufficient. This could result in delayed payments for various sectors, including Medicare, Social Security, and military salaries. Additionally, the Treasury might have to prioritize payments, but the legality and feasibility of this approach remain unclear. Basically, refusing to raise the debt ceiling doesn't cut spending. It's like refusing to pay a credit card bill for items already purchased. What happens if the U.S. keeps on increasing the debt ceiling? First up, more debt means more interest. Imagine your credit card bill getting bigger and bigger. That's the government's problem too. More of our budget would have to go toward these interest payments, leaving less for other things like schools, roads, and healthcare. Next, to tackle this debt, Uncle Sam might have to bump up taxes. But higher taxes could mean people have less money to spend, potentially slowing down our economy. Thirdly, when the government borrows money, it's competing with businesses for funds. This could lead to higher interest rates and less money available for businesses to grow and hire. Also, if we try to pay off debt by printing more money, we risk inflation. That means your hard-earned dollars could buy you less over time. So what happens if the U.S. defaults on its debt? A default occurs when a borrower fails to make interest or principal payments on time. If the U.S. were to default on its debt, the consequences could be severe, both domestically and internationally. Here's what could happen. 1. Credit rating downgrade. Credit rating agencies may downgrade the U.S. credit rating, indicating a higher risk of default, which could lead to higher borrowing costs for the U.S. government. 2. Global financial turmoil. As the U.S. dollar and Treasury securities are considered safe haven assets, a default could create panic in financial markets and undermine the global financial system's stability. 3. Higher interest rates. Investors could demand higher interest rates for U.S. Treasury bonds, increasing borrowing costs for the U.S. government and American taxpayers. 4. Economic slowdown. A default could hurt consumer and business confidence, leading to reduced spending and investment, potentially resulting in a recession. 5. Currency devaluation. A default could weaken the U.S. dollar, leading to higher inflation and reduced purchasing power for Americans. 6. Geopolitical implications. A U.S. default could affect its standing in the international community and potentially weaken the dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency. Understanding the U.S. debt situation and the potential consequences of default is critical, given its far-reaching effects on the global economy. We hope this video has provided you with a comprehensive overview of the topic. Thank you for watching.